Alright everybody, so we're going to start at the top of the song, and basically what I'll do, I'll play a couple phrases, and then I'll stop, I'll show you what I'm doing, and then we'll move along bit by bit from there. Now, we're in the key of D, and for the most part, there's really only a couple chords in the song. There's D, G, and A. And a lot of the times he uses chord voicings that aren't full chords, you know, like he hardly ever plays a D like this, he'll hardly ever play a G like this, and he'll hardly ever play an A like this. You know, your standard voicing. He uses parts of chords. So he'll use something like this for a D, where you're just playing the bass note and then the top two notes of the D. Or like an A, they'll play like this, where you're playing like the bass note and then the top two notes of an A with your pinky on A on the first string. And then sort of barring the second fret. So keep that in mind, that they're not going to be your like standard singer-songwriter strumming chords. There's, you know, sort of like bits and pieces of these like bigger chords. They're like small parts of them, sort of. But enough of that. I'll play it and then I'll show you what I'm doing. So this is the beginning. Okay, so that's the first 4 bars. We'll just stop there. The beginning's really easy. We're just basically playing that D chord, that version of a D chord I was talking about, where you're playing an open D, and then you're playing D on the B string, 3rd fret on the B string, 2nd fret on the E string. So like basically without the G string, a D chord without the G string. And you're kind of just going for the first measure. You're playing the bass note, D, with your thumb each time, and then the top two notes are descending and going back. And then the beginning of the second measure, we do 1 and. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and. Now on the and, there's no bass notes. Mississippi John Hurt always, or almost always, puts the bass note on the quarter notes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, type of a thing. He hardly ever puts bass notes on the and that's that Travis picking style. That keeps that at a fast tempo. That mimics the bass line, right? That's like what an upright bass player would do. So on the and of 1 in the second measure, there's no bass. And then on 2, you play the bass, the D again. 1 and 2 and then on the and of 2, you go back to the D. And then 3, 4. 3 and 4 is open A, and then D. So that's... One more time. And then from there we switch to a G chord, but not like quite a normal G chord. So we're playing basically just 2 fingers here, G on the low string, and then 3rd fret on the B string, and we're staggering them. 1 and, so bass, high note, and then bass, the open D string, and open E played together, like that. And then right after that, we play the 3rd fret on the B string again. Like that. And then 3 and 4, low G, open D. So that's... And then it's almost the exact same thing for the next measure. The only difference is the very last beat, instead of just being an open D, we play a B, 2nd fret A string, and then an open B. So that's like that. So those two measures sound like this. So if I played all 4 of those measures, you'd get this. And then the next measure, well, I'll play the next few measures after that. So I'll kind of start from the beginning and then go through the next couple of measures after that so you can get it in context. I'll do it slow. Okay, so the next 2 measures sound like this. And what's happening here, we're playing the same shape as the very first thing we played, that D chord without the G string, but we're not playing with the same fingers. We're playing exactly like we were playing a D chord, but we take off our first finger. So we're left with open D, ring finger on 3rd fret, middle finger on 2nd fret. And we're staggering them. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then we play a low F sharp, 2nd fret E string for 3rd beat. 4th beat is an open A. So that's 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then the next part, we're still keeping this shape here, this D shape, but now we're staggering it again. Except this time, when we get to the 2nd fret, the middle finger, 1 and, so open D, 3rd fret D, and then when we get to the 2nd fret middle finger, the F sharp, we put a low A, an open A at the same time. Like that. And then right away after that, we take off that middle finger and we pluck the top 2 strings, open E and 3rd fret B string. So that's 1 and 2 and then we put the middle finger back on and play the open D plus the 2 top strings together. That's 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we hit the low A for the 4th beat. Alright, so those 2 measures sound like that. So, going back now from the beginning, I'll continue the next couple of measures. We have this. Okay, so the next 2 measures, we're playing an A chord. And we start with, barring the 2nd fret, starting with the D string on up to the E string. And we're playing the D string 2nd fret, B string 2nd fret, 1 and. And we're putting our pinky on the 1st string 5th fret A. And then when we get to the 2nd beat, 1 and 2. On that 2, we're playing the open A, 2nd fret B, 5th fret E. Like that. So, once again. And then we play the 2nd fret on the D string, plus the 2 top strings again. We could just leave our hand there. And then after that, we play the low A for the 4th beat. So that's 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now if you notice in the melody, the top note first lands on the 2nd beat, and then it lands on the and of 3, which is something he does a lot. He doesn't put the melody always in a predictable spot where it's always on the downbeat or always on the upbeat. He staggers it between downbeat and upbeat. So if you listen, right? So it's 1 and top note, and then a low note, and then top note. So. And then the next measure, we do the same idea where we're playing the D string on the 2nd fret, still barring, and then the top 2 notes. So 1 and 2, and the 2 is an open A. And the and of 2, we now drop our pinky down. We're still barring. We drop our pinky down to our middle finger, which goes on the 3rd fret of the high E string. So 1 and 2 and then we play 3 is an open A, 4 and the 4 and is 3rd fret A string, 4th fret A string, 4 and 1, and then we go to the 1, which is an open D. So these 2 A measures sound like this. And if you notice what I'm doing, I'm here and then I reach with my ring finger to get the 3rd fret on the A string, and then I slide my ring finger up to the 4th fret. The reason I'm doing that is so I can hold that top note so the melody keeps going, because if I get off of it, it's like, where'd the melody go? We want that melody to keep singing, and you can't get off it if you want that melody to still be there. Now this next measure is the exact same measure as the 5th measure, where we're playing an open D, and then 2nd fret 3rd, 2nd string 3rd fret, and then 2nd fret on the high E string. And then low F sharp on the 2nd fret, and open A. And then we play, and here we're keeping that same shape, that D shape, and we're playing open D, and then D on the 2nd string. And then when we get to the 2nd fret F sharp on the high E string, we're playing that note plus an A note, a low A, at the same time. And after that, we play the top 2 notes just by themselves. Like that. And that's 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And then 3 open D, 4th beat open A. So, let's play all of that from the beginning. This is what it sounds like from the very beginning. there we have it. I'll do it one more time now, sort of at a faster tempo, because at this slow tempo it's really hard to hear the melody sing, right? It's like it's a little too slow to hear it in its entirety. So let's play it sort of not at the original tempo, which is pretty fast. Let's play it sort of somewhere in between where I just played it and the original. So maybe something like this. And there you have it. So that's the first part. Now we change to something totally different. So get that part under your fingers, because that's going to be, I guess, quote unquote, the easier part of the song. The second half gets a little more complicated, but not by much. We just have some quick little notes, some slides, and some other things. So get that under your fingers, and then we'll move on.